the Round podcast with Chris Kelly and BB Shea, week 3. They said it wouldn't last. And look at this.
We're here, man.
I'll tell you this. I came in today. I just told you this. Now, when we record this, I always go to the gym and then come back here and record. And usually I take a shower there and put on decent clothes. And today I was like, no, let's get in. Sweaty, nasty. This shirt is completely wet. And the cameras are on. Now, last week, the cameras were not on.
Cameras were not on. That was a mistake on my part.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say that. What happened was you didn't refresh the cameras, which that's the first I've ever heard of any camera having to be refreshed.
Yeah.
So your lips moved at the right time, but mine looked like a kung fu movie.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I think that would have been fun. But you made the decision.
I made the decision. I was like, if somebody's going to say something about it.
Yeah.
I was like, we'll just let it be. And we're back this week. So we're back this week.
What do you think of this wetness? Should I do this every week?
It looks rough.
You want this every week?
If you want to, man.
It's every week.
I can smell you from here. I'm not going to lie. So
I stink so bad when I'm coming out of there. And this shirt, everything I'm wearing when I go home, you call it the muck bucket.
The muck bucket.
I have 2 buckets in the closet. Pink is for stink, green is for clean, and these go into the pink stink bucket until they're washed.
I still don't think that's real.
No, that's real.
Is it real?
Let me take a picture of it.
Let me take a picture and send it to me.
I'll show you the pink, and the pink is for stink, and then I take them and dump them into that's the only thing I'm allowed to wash is my sweat clothes. I wash them with vinegar and 2 Tide Pods, and they have to be washed twice, and that OxyClean.
But you look disheveled. You look like you got it in today. How was it? How was it today?
Well, we did a thing today, and I keep inviting you.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I gotta
and I'm keep waiting for the Kanye West music, by the way.
About that. This whole weekend I thought about it constantly, and I was going to text you, but I'm like, he's not going to listen to it.
I would listen to it.
Would you have?
Yeah, of course.
The whole time I was like, I told him I was going to, but I didn't. Okay, I got you.
Send me Kanye West music. Now, here's what we did today, all right? Now, where I go to the gym, it's a little boutique gym, and you do a planned workout every day, and it's always rower, treadmill, and then weights, okay? And I love it. I mean, I love it. I'm not allowed to mention it, but I love it. And I've been going for 5 years, and it's the only thing I've ever stuck with as far as gym goes. And on today's challenge was you did 0.1 mile on the treadmill as fast as you could go. Then you go to the rower and do 100 meters, which takes like 20 seconds. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Boom. Then you go back and do 0.1 miles as fast as you can go, and then you do 200 meters, and then 0.1 and 300, and 0.1 and 400, and you try to build up as many meters on the rower as you can. And that's for 25 minutes.
So how long does it take you to run 0.1 miles?
For me, it takes about 30 seconds.
Okay, I was going to say,
so
it's not
very
long.
fast. But you can go as fast as you want.
Sure.
I go as fast as I possibly can. So it's 35 seconds. But then you're gassed. Then you got to go and run. That's why I look.
What's harder, the rowing or the running?
Today, the rowing.
Really?
I prefer to row because I like it, but I'm tall and I like to row. Most people don't like rowing, but I do. It's hard on the legs. Running, I hate. I mean, and on the treadmill, I hate. But today, there's very little running because it's 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, and you row more and more and more.
But you look like one of the Winklevosses up there.
I try, man. That's what I'm going for.
Winklevoss rowing.
Oh, you know the Winklevosses.
I know him.
And, well, I'm glad you brought up movies because you've talked for a couple of weeks now, and I know you did it. You saw Oppenheimer and Barbie on the same day. And I want to know which you liked better, and did you like both?
I loved both. It was an amazing experience. I went to go see Oppenheimer at 10:40 in the morning. I took the day off work to go do this, by the way.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
you did it on a Monday.
I did it on a Monday,
and I thought, did you use a vacation day?
No, so I had to work on Juneteenth. So this was me celebrating Juneteenth. So
did I make you work on Juneteenth?
Yeah, you did. You did.
I did do that.
You did.
So I didn't see either one of these movies.
I decided to go Monday. So Oppenheimer was at 10:40, 3-hour movie. Got done, had lunch, and then saw Barbie at 3:10.
Yes.
And then was out of there by 5.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer was amazing.
Yeah.
Everything that I expected it to be, thrilling, exciting, interesting, the whole 9. Oscar nominations, I'm going to go ahead and Emily Blunt will probably get one. Robert Downey Jr. will win.
I hear he's like the star of the show.
I predicted this 5 years ago, by the way.
You did.
At the end of the last Avengers movie, I said if he dies within 5 years, he'll be nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, you think?
And this is 5 years.
This is the one. Yeah.
And Cillian Murphy will be nominated.
You think he plays Oppenheimer,
yes,
right?
Yes, he does.
Do you know his diet for Oppenheimer, by the way?
No.
He ate, it's called the Oppenheimer diet because he got really thin. I'm doing this myself. You eat every day, you eat 1 almond. That's it. That's all you have.
At what time of the day do you do that?
Could you?
1 almond?
Yes, 1 almond.
Why bother?
He'd take a break for lunch, and then he'd have an almond.
Step outside, have an almond, come back.
I had 3 people who saw Oppenheimer, and all 3 told me it was good, not great, except you, who said it's fantastic.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's 3 hours is a long movie for any movie, but I thought it was intriguing. There's a lot to keep up with, a lot of great cameos too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
But I thought it was good. I mean, I had no complaints about it.
Well, everybody I know, they were hot to go see it, and I really respect their opinion. And I would say, how was it? And like you said, great. And they would all went, well, it was good, but I was expecting a little more. Maybe the length of it, and maybe the expectations.
Yeah.
And then everybody says Barbie is beyond. It blows them away.
Barbie did beat my expectations.
It did,
I didn't expect much, but it definitely beat my expectations. Ryan Gosling is incredible.
Yeah,
he stole the show.
You better rewatch La La Land.
I might have to. I might have to.
He's fantastic.
I like Ryan Gosling, but I've never been blown away with him. This is the first time I've been blown away with him.
I would like to look like Ryan Gosling. That's why I go to the gym. That's why I do that kind of stuff.
That's too much, man.
Let me ask you this question. This is about a little bit of a transition here to workouts and so forth. Last week, tragic, surprising, LeBron James' son goes down.
Terrible.
Cardiac arrest. And we were talking about, and I never read comments on news stories, and I never go on social media. But that's your area, you know that. But as soon as we were chatting about Bronny James and how that was, and my inbox was full of people saying that, he got the COVID vaccine, so he went down, because of that. And everybody was saying to me, yeah, that's what a lot of people say. Well, like if anything happened, like when Damar Hamlin of the Bills went down, which is ridiculous because the helmet hit him. Are you going to get the COVID booster in October if it's offered? Have you gotten the shot?
So I'm fully vaccinated. I never got the booster because I got sick around the time I was supposed to get it. And then time got away with me and I never got it.
Right, yeah.
As far as people blaming it on that, I understand. I think that there's people who just talk, but I don't think it's got anything to do with it.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe that, I think there's just a lot of distrust with the government right now, which is understandable, but I don't think that that's something that we have to worry about.
And I think that, not only is there distrust, but there's a real platform on social media there's a group that's on your side and will not change their mind.
Everybody's a genius on social media.
And no one will change their mind on anything. Yeah. I wondered how you felt about that, because you don't vote.
No,
You're
I don't
not
vote.
even registered
to
vote.
No.
And I can understand that. I was a teenage Republican. I was the president of the Teenage Republican Club.
How'd that work out for you?
It's disappointing because at the time in 1988, I got George H.W. Bush elected and took literature door to door.
Single-handedly got him elected.
I like to think so.
Yeah, right.
And then since then, today, I never tell you. 18-year-old me, when you said I don't vote and I'm not registered, would have said you are such a schlub. But now I don't blame you. Do you complain about elected officials? I know another guy who doesn't vote but doesn't complain.
No, I don't complain at all.
That's the
don't complain at all.
It's America. You don't have to vote.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like I would never encourage anybody to not vote, but I understand why you wouldn't want to vote.
And when it gets close to election day, people are like, oh, vote, and I'm always like, you know what? Don't tell me what to do.
It's the ones who say, I don't care who you vote for.
But go vote.
Yes, you do. You 100% care who I vote for. You totally care. It bothers you that you don't know who I'm voting for.
Right, and you want me to vote for a certain party.
Absolutely.
Of course, that's what they do. Have you ever voted?
I voted in 2008.
For Obama?
No, I didn't vote for Obama.
You didn't get swept up in the Obama?
I voted for the Independent.
What's the Independent? Look at you.
Oh, who was
Contrarian.
it? Contrarian. Who was that guy?
Because he beat McCain, Obama did.
No, it was
There was a third part. Ralph Nader.
Yes,
no, was it Ralph Nader?
I think it was Nader that I voted for. Yeah,
Nader. They say Nader cost Gore the election in 2000.
Man,
because Nader ran against and he cost Gore some votes, and of course it went down to Florida, which was like 200 votes apart.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Now, I say I don't mind that you don't vote, but elections have had a huge effect. I mean, when Donald Trump got elected, he put 3 people on the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
and that's power.
True,
and he was only there 4 years, and he put 3 people on the Supreme Court who have swung the court to the conservatives, and that's a big deal.
I think one of my favorite things that I've ever seen about voting. Do you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I did. I loved it.
There was this episode where they were going to vote for local people, and Larry David was standing in line, long line. He looks at the guy behind him and he goes, "Hey, who are you voting for? And he goes, I'm voting for the Democrat. He goes, I'm voting for the Republican.
Yeah.
So you vote, I vote. It pretty much cancels each other out. Well, we should go on home. He goes, sounds good to me.
Now,
it's absolute genius.
That's right.
I
agree. I knew a woman, and she's a huge liberal and was voting Obama, and I was voting McCain.
Yeah.
I always vote Republican, mostly because I was raised Republican.
Yeah.
You know? And so I said to her that. I was like, why don't, we're going to cancel each other out. And the Obama year was going to be a huge line. I knew Obama was going to win. And I said, why don't we just not go? I mean, she didn't know because she campaigned for him and everything.
Sure.
She was all about Obama. And you know what happened to me that night, too? When Obama won it in 2008, I was laying there beside my wife. Tell me if you ever do this. I was laying there beside my wife, and she was asleep, but I was watching the returns roll in. And I usually do stay up to watch. And it was a foregone conclusion. As soon as the polls closed in California, Obama won. Now, I was eating in bed, and something went down the wrong way, and I teared up. Okay?
Okay.
And she woke up and looked over at me and said, she goes, you're crying because Obama won. And I said, no, my corn chip went down the wrong, and she goes, no, you're not. They just called it for him, and you're crying because Obama won, and you're all swept up in the emotion. She's never forgiven me. She's a hardcore Republican too. She's never, and I was not, I absolutely was not. Surely your man's had a corn chip in bed.
Of course, yeah. That's my favorite bedtime snack.
I would figure.
Yeah.
You get a tear,
all the time.
An accidental cry
all the time.
What is your? I read this. I think it was on Reddit. Remember last week you made the revelation that you like the smell of pee, of urine after you had asparagus, but you never, because I had asparagus recently, and when I peed, I was like, my God, it was the most overwhelming asparagus
after
smell.
That day I had it the next night so I could have the smell, just so I could smell it.
What is the best tasting healthy food that is good for you?
Oh, wow, I love an apple. Is our apples healthy?
I think that's right.
Okay, I love an apple. I can eat an apple.
Apples are like oranges.
Yeah,
Fruits.
I'm a big fruit guy.
Yeah, fruit is good.
I love some fruit.
Do you know that recently when I went on this diet, I'm not supposed to call it a diet, weight loss journey.
Sure.
They said the fruits you should not eat are grapes and pineapple because they're so full of sugar. Even though it's sugar that's good,
it's natural sugar.
Natural sugar. It's still too much. And bananas. Which I don't
That's
like.
what I hear.
I don't like bananas too much.
I don't know why bananas are catching a bad rep recently.
Do. Yeah. But for years and years, they say you can have a banana, but now you don't.
People are banana hating. I don't know what it is.
They are.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have for me today? I know you always ask me.
This is interesting. So you and I correspond quite a bit regarding this.
Yes.
How old are you?
52.
52. What is it about men your age? You guys suck at texting.
What are you talking about?
You guys are terrible. And I'm going to link my dad into this as well.
What are you talking about?
You guys treat texts like they're freaking work emails. I get no sort of personability with you guys. It's excellent. Thank you. Great. See you then. You're clicking that middle row of the suggested words. Like, okay, great. I was like, yeah, let's get together and talk it over Monday. Why can't I get like a sounds good, dog? Appreciate you.
Oh, I never,
big love.
I have never
appreciate
once
that.
in my life said
There's
that.
no personability with you guys when it comes to texting.
You think I'm gonna say appreciate you, dog?
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
I want to treat, and I also use punctuation.
I do too. I'm good about that, but I throw a little bit of flavor in there from time to time.
I just sent you my Bitmoji, which people tell me not to use, but I think it's a fantastic. Do you like it? I just sent it to you.
It looks like a very young you.
That's what I like about it.
It looks like you when you were a young Republican.
That's what I like about it.
That's what you base it off of.
That's young Republican me. No, I feel like that you should be, I don't know, I just never like slang in any form.
Even when you're hanging out with your friends, like y'all never really got into stuff like that?
I never say stuff like that. I mean, when I was young, and even then, I've always been very straight. I mean, I was the president of the Young Republican Club.
I guess.
The president of the Young Republican Club. So I'm not going to go, and especially when I type it like that, I'm not going to do it. So I just won't do
I would just challenge you to maybe just spice it up a little bit.
Well, I'll try that.
But next time your son texts you, text him back, be like,
that'll be my
love
challenge.
You, blood, or something that.
Oh, he'll say, who's this? Who kidnapped you and stole your phone?
Say like one love, bro.
Here's something interesting for you. You're talking about Robert Downey Jr., and you think he'll win the Oscar for Oppenheimer.
I think he will.
What does
probably,
he play?
He plays Max Strauss.
Who is...
to be honest with you, he was the head of the... like the group of physicists that kind of worked together.
I don't know. Yeah, I do a lot of pretending around movies.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't see a movie and pretend to have seen it, or I don't like a movie and pretend to have liked. The Usual Suspects is my big one.
Did you never see that?
I saw it, but I fell asleep.
Okay, fair.
And so I for years, I knew there was a big twist at the end, and for years, people would say, "Oh my God, The Usual Suspect, the twist." And I'd go, "Yes, my God," but really,
blew me away.
I really don't know. I really don't know it. So people say Oppenheimer, the story of the bomb. All I know is it's about a bomb.
Yeah.
That's really all I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I should know more about the atomic bomb than I do. Robert Downey Jr. was asked, and he's his big thing is Iron Man, I guess. I don't like Marvel movies anymore.
He's my man crush.
You like...
Who's your man crush? And don't say you don't have one because I don't believe it.
Well, they're probably Ryan Gosling. I mean, that guy can do no wrong.
Is he the guy you'd go gay for? No. I'd go gay for Robert Downey Jr.
I would go gay for... I would go gay for Ryan Gosling.
Really?
He would be... Well, I love La La Land.
I feel like that's such a plain answer. I don't know.
I
feel like everybody...
because
he's so good looking.
He is really good. Who else do I really like? I'll tell you who I think is really funny.
Yeah.
And I think he's good looking in a middle-aged... I mean, he's a good-looking guy. Paul Rudd. I really like Paul.
That's a good answer.
I like Paul Rudd. But
the charisma, the funniness,
the abs of Ryan Gosling. That's what I want.
Yes.
I am working so hard to get abs. I squeeze in the morning. I flex naked in front of a mirror to try to squeeze out an ab.
Gosling.
Never get it.
Gosling.
Never get it. And in fact, I've got loose skin where I gained weight.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the lights? I don't know.
What lights?
Well, the weight loss place, they've got this new thing. It's called a light belt, and you wear the light belt, and it apparently, the sag out on the skin, it will fry it up so you don't have to. I don't know exactly how it works, but it smooths out your rough skin,
Yeah, I never heard about that one.
Well, it's brand new.
Okay,
it's brand new. So when you lose weight, you'll never use it. You'll never use it. You won't have to worry about it.
Fair enough, yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. was asked to name the 2 most important movies he had made in the last 25 years, and you would never guess them in a million. There's no way you can guess them, because you'd think it would be Iron Man.
I mean, how many movies has he really made in the last 25 years?
I did the Sherlock Holmes movie, the Oppenheimer.
And then all
I don't like Iron Man. That's
fair.
I don't care anything about Marvel movies.
Okay.
They never... And I saw... well, to be fair, I haven't seen Iron Man. I just don't care.
It's a fun world to delve into, but you've got to commit to it.
There's so much to it.
It's literally 12 years of content,
And what was the one I saw was the first one when the new Spider-Man... What's the guy's name that plays Spider-Man now?
Tom Holland.
Yes. Either the first or second one. It's where Michael Keaton's in it. I know that. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yes, the Homecoming. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was so underwhelmed by that. I was like, I just don't care.
Really?
I don't...
Oh,
I mean, it was a well-made movie. I could care less about superhero stuff. I know it's always to me the same movie. At the end, it's like, get it over with, let him win, and then show me the scene at the end of the credits, and let's go to the next.
I will say they have drastically changed the film landscape.
Oh, no doubt.
I think
but
for the worse. I don't like it either.
I think movies should have people in them and not a whole lot of CGI. Mm-hmm. And now those movies are nothing but CGI. Like when I didn't like Michael Keaton's Batman in 1989. Everybody loved it. I didn't. And even that, at least they're actors.
Sure.
And it's real.
Yeah.
I mean, they did some, I guess, CGI.
Such limited technology.
I mean, now, but you can make it without hardly having any person in it at all. I don't like that. Robert Downey Jr. was asked what are his 2 most important movies he's made in the last 25 years, and he said The Shaggy Dog.
Was he in that?
I guess. I haven't seen that. That was in 2006. He said it was because as soon as he made The Shaggy Dog, he got the Disney stamp of approval, and it meant his comeback was real. Because he did drug, he had the drug alcohol issue. Mm. I used to see him when I was young. He was in a movie. Was he in Less Than Zero? I'm not sure. He was in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. This is late 80s.
Was he? Okay.
And he admitted he didn't even know the lines on that. He was so coked out or whatever drug he was on. He was terrible, a drug-addled mess. And then he said Doolittle, because everything about the movie was a complete fiasco, but it was a learning experience for him and his wife. And he said, you never let a good crisis go to waste. The movie was so bad that it drew his wife and him closer together, that they were like each other's sounding board.
So literally his worst 2 movies that he's put out in 25 years. I guess that makes sense, because literally everything that he's done other than those 2 movies have been box office successes. Yeah.
Well, except for Sherlock Holmes, I think.
People still went to go see those, though.
Did they go see
it? I feel like they've got a good following behind them.
You may be right. I just, have I even seen... He's in that Spider-Man Homecoming, right? Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Briefly.
Yes.
I don't know that I've seen him in a movie since...
Weird Science.
Weird Science.
Maybe.
Weird Science was probably the last movie I've seen Robert Downey Jr. And I know what a great actor he is. I mean, I know everybody says he's come back and all that. Weird Science is awful. It's awful.
What?
I hate Weird Science.
I love Weird Science.
I think Weird Science, that's Anthony Michael Hall and that other kid that never went on doing it. Nobody knows who he is. And that hot Kelly LeBrock.
Kelly LeBrock, yes.
God knows. Now, listen, my friend Brian Thomas, who I grew up with, that movie came out, I was 14, 15 years old. And he said, he'd already seen it. He goes, we're going to see, because he loved it. We're going to see it because Kelly LeBrock was so hot. And we were 15. And he's like, let's go see it. And it's funny. And, one guy's a giant turd in it at one point.
Was that, they turned his brother into the giant turd?
Yeah.
Chet?
It's Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton,
No longer with us.
Yes, I know, man.
He was, I always liked him better than Bill Pullman. I think he's a better actor.
His character in Weird Science made such an impact on my family that my dad called his older brother Chet for growing up because he was such a turd. Because such an a-hole to him.
Well, he is,
And so,
that guy wasn't. Well, anyway, my friend Brian Thomas said, we're going to see this movie. And the other movie we had a choice to see but did not, so I didn't see it in the theater, was Back to the Future.
Okay.
And now I'm like, my God. And later I saw Back to the Future on VHS.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Jesus, God, I could have seen that. And Brian Thomas's mother and little brother went to see Back to the Future, and they came out just like jumping for joy. And I was like, this Weird Science wasn't even good.
But for you guys at your age, that was the right movie to go see.
Weird Science?
Yeah, because it was kind of like edgy, raunchy to an extent.
See, it's because I've always been just as boring as I am now, as you referenced with my texting.
Yeah.
I'm so boring that I didn't like Weird Science. I never have liked stuff like that, I've never. Have we talked about Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes.
Which I loathe. I mean, I hate that movie probably more than, and everybody recommended it to me. I hated it.
I don't get it. Love that movie.
Of course.
I still remember the first time I saw it.
Of course. But I think that is a love or hate. I remember the first and only time I saw it. I said, well, what a waste of time this was. I hated it, but I didn't find a bit of it fun.
It was so different, though, man. That's what made it so good.
It's like this podcast.
It is.
It's completely different than anything else you're going to hear.
Speaking of 80s movies, I watched an 80s movie last night. First time I'd ever watched it. Heard about it my entire life, and I absolutely couldn't stand it. Beverly Hills Cop. I watched Beverly Hills Cop. I did not. It was so boring to me.
You didn't like Beverly Hills Cop?
I love Eddie Murphy. But he was annoying to me in that role. I thought it was so boring.
The banana in the tailpipe?
Yeah, it was boring to me. I zoned out.
You know what I don't like? I love the movie. I love Beverly Hills Cop. And at that time he did 48 Hours also, which was also
I never saw that.
It's very, very good. Yeah. But I don't know if you'd like it, but he's funny in it. I mean, Eddie Murphy, I love. I just read a great fact about it. I can't believe you didn't like that movie. I love that movie.
Was not a fan.
In fact, at that time, Back to the Future, Beverly Hills Cop, those are my favorites. I loved those movies. And I even liked Beverly Hills Cop 2. I thought that was good. You haven't seen that?
Never saw that one, no. I don't know what I just was like, I've never seen it. I've always heard good things. I'm going to check it out. Watched it last night.
Great.
Not a fan.
How about Lethal Weapon? You've seen that?
Never saw Lethal Weapon.
That's good too.
Never saw Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, about all those John Hughes movies.
Breakfast Club's great. I love that one.
I do too.
What Weird Science, wasn't that a John Hughes movie?
I don't think it was. Okay. Maybe, but Back to the Future, you like. That's not a Johnny. Yeah. How about like Home Alone?
Home Alone, absolutely. Uncle Buck. Fantastic.
Yeah. You know which one I didn't see till I was about 30, probably 40. I didn't see Pretty in Pink. I missed it when it was out, and then so I didn't love that one. It's okay.
See, Molly Ringwald, she was just the queen back then.
She was.
Man.
16 Candles.
16 Candles.
16 Candles is one of the worst. Now that's a movie they make fun of that Asian kid.
Yes.
So badly. Now they have to run a disclaimer before it.
They did.
And now Molly Ringwald, like her kids, you know how woke everybody is now.
Yeah.
Molly Ringwald's kids saw 16 Candles and came to her and were like, how could you do that?
Isn't it weird trying to explain to people that there was a point in time where people just really didn't care about stuff like that?
When I was growing up, now that's my era.
Yeah.
Now I was watching movies every weekend, and there was a movie. Have you ever seen Revenge of the Nerds? This is like early 80s.
No, I never saw that one,
It's all about guys like scoring, having sex with whoever. And there's a scene in Revenge of the Nerd. All the nerds are put upon, and then they're treated horribly.
Yeah.
And then later in the movie, the jocks get their comeuppance, and John Goodman's actually in it as a football coach.
Oh, really?
I loved it when I was a kid. Yeah. And now I was in my formative years. Saw it on HBO when I was 13, 14. Porky's the same way. All these movies are all about high school kids trying to get laid. And in that movie, Revenge of the Nerds, the football player's girlfriend, who's this hot, the quarterback's girlfriend, she's in like asleep in a dark room.
Yeah.
And one of the nerds is like got a mask on, wakes her up, and they have sex. And she's like, oh my God, you're better than you've ever been. And she thinks she's sleeping with her boyfriend, who's the quarterback. And he takes off his mask, and it's the nerd. She goes, oh my God, you're better than my quarterback boyfriend. And, you know, as a 12-year-old, 14-year-old, you see that, you're like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And then you grow up and you're like, that's the worst thing ever.
But until you're 20, you don't even, you're like, wait a minute. He had sex with this girl who's passed out, or he's got a mask on, you know. And I just showed my kids Dead Poet Society. Did I tell you about that?
No.
There's a scene in it where a guy goes to a party. Now, he's lusting after this girl who's dating the quarterback of the football team. But you want him to get with her eventually, and eventually he does. But they're at the party, and she's passed out. She's drinking or asleep, and he starts kissing her. When I saw it in the theater in 1989, I thought, good for him.
Yeah, sure.
Now you see it, and you're like, she's asleep, and he's kissing her. I mean, he's like the monster, but he's supposed to be the good guy. You know, we've done a complete 180 on it.
It's wild, isn't it? Especially, you know, and it hasn't even extended to that far away.
No.
I'm like, even in The Hangover, when it came out, there was a part in the trailer where they said the slur for gay people.
It's my favorite line of the movie. I'm sorry to tell you.
Paging doctor. It was in the trailer that they showed on television.
I can't even say it on this podcast.
No.
But when I'll say drag it.
Sure.
Okay. All right. He comes, if you haven't seen The Hangover, he comes up behind the window. The guy, his friend's a doctor, and he does the line. So he goes, paging Dr. Draggett, Dr. Draggett, just like you'd hear in a hospital.
Yes.
And I fell off the couch. But even that was only like 10 or 12 years ago.
Yes, it was a lot more commonplace to say that.
Well,
we found it funny when it was said.
We did, but now.
That's the thing. You know, you grow older and you take more people's feelings into consideration.
At the gym the other day, there was a guy, he's gay, great guy. And he said something, it was about men and women. The coach was saying, well, like so-and-so leads in the men's division, so-and-so leads in the women's division. And he said, well, I'm not a woman. And I almost said, well, you're close. But I held my tongue. And I think he would have found that funny.
Yeah.
Because we get along very funny.
Sure, yeah.
And I almost said, but I thought, I'm not at that point. I can cross that line with him. Some people you can, you know, but I could not at that point.
Well, what do you think about maybe things like that and people, you know, after the fact going and changing them? Like, for example, if someone were to watch The Hangover and then they changed it whenever it's streaming to where that word isn't said, I don't like it either. And
it's art. You can't. Yeah, it's.
And I say that because I think it's necessary for, especially the new generation, to understand that there was a point in time where this, you know, was a thing. But as time goes on, you become more wise, and you know, you gotta.
Molly Ringwald told her kids just what you just said. It was a time, and I think they do put up a thing like, you know, this was at a time where sensibilities were not. Yeah, it's weird how it changes over time. It changes, and you have to be right on, because those jokes today would get you canceled.
Exactly,
I mean,
absolutely. As they should, though.
Well, yeah, I agree. They were bad jokes. It was pretty rough. Yeah. And but it took me a while to come around to that, because, you know, I'm from that era where it's like, oh, come on, just grow a thicker skin. But they were really nailing that Asian guy.
Sure.
I mean, it's pretty bad. And then I watched a movie. Now, when I was really young, there's a movie called All the Right Moves. Tom Cruise is in it.
Okay.
Yeah, you've never seen it.
Never seen it.
He's a high school football player.
Okay.
And I was watching it on HBO. And Craig T. Nelson, who played coach at one point, and he's in Parenthood. He's the coach of the team. And it's a rough and tumble, like Pennsylvania team, and they're down in the mud and everything. And they're the poor side of the town, and they're playing like the rich guys from 50 miles down the road. And he's giving the pump up speech. And I wondered when I saw it on HBO, because I remember I used to watch it all the time, and I saw it recently streaming it. And in the movie, he's in the locker room, and he goes, "You know what they say about us? We're the N-words. We're the, you know." He says all these horrible things. We're the queers. We're the this, and he said that's what they say about. That's what we are, and that's who we are. And I was like, and they left it in there, and I was like, holy cow! Because today,
couldn't get away with that.
God, he was just crazy. Let me give you a factoid about Beverly Hills Cop, which you're going to love.
Yeah,
it was. I just found this out today. When they made that, the part was going to go to Sylvester Stallone, not Eddie Murphy, and the movie was going to be completely different. It wasn't going to be funny. It was going to be he's a rough Detroit cop, has to go out to Beverly Hills to solve a crime, and it was not written as funny. They brought Eddie. He bailed with about 6 weeks to go.
Yeah.
They brought in, before they shot, Eddie Murphy, rewrote it with comedy.
I don't think that would have. Well, maybe if it would have been more of a drama, maybe it would have fit, but not the comedy side of things.
And well, he wouldn't have done it as comedy though. He would have done it as drama, and it would have been one of a million.
I'll tell you the one thing that I did appreciate about Beverly Hills Cop was watching it, and then watching how much it influenced other police movies from there to come, like Rush Hour, like Rush,
didn't like Rush Hour.
Eddie Murphy in Rush Hour was the same exact character as Chris Tucker. Yeah,
I like him.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Have I seen Rush Hour? I might not have seen
with Jackie Chan.
I haven't seen Rush Hour.
Okay.
You know what I'm thinking of?
What?
This is okay. This it's a more of a drama. I would be made fun of if my other friends were here who make fun of me so much.
Larry the Cable Guy, Health Inspector. Is that what you're thinking about?
Is it that? No. It's a movie where it's Ethan Hawke and Jamie Foxx. I think it's Jamie. No, it's not Jamie Foxx. Is it? I think Ethan Hawke won a. I don't know what it is.
Oh, Training Day.
I didn't like that.
Training Day.
I didn't like that movie.
Denzel Washington.
Oh, my God.
How did you not know who Denzel Washington was?
Is it Denzel? What's Jamie Foxx in?
No,
he's in the movie with Tom Cruise. He's in, look what a racist I said.
Collateral?
Look what a racist. Yes,
No.
Collateral.
Yeah.
I like Collateral. I don't like Training Day.
Yeah, Training Day
I haven't seen Rush Hour.
Okay.
That's the fact.
You're all over the place.
I know.
Man.
And look at that. They'll skewer me. People will skewer me.
Training Day was a little overrated. But then again, you know how I feel about Denzel Washington.
I thought it was terrible. Anyway. Oh, I love Denzel Washington.
I think he's overrated.
You don't? Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You think Denzel is overrated?
I think his son is better. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
John
you don't
David.
even think he's the best Washington
I don't
in the
think he's
family.
the best Washington. No. I don't.
Oh, my God. I can't believe that.
No.
I love Denzel.
He's fine. He's fine. I just don't think he's worth all the hype.
He's one of my favorite actors of all time.
That's a boomer thing to say. Your favorite black actor is Denzel
I didn't say
Washington.
my favorite. I said he's my favorite actor.
That's every middle-aged guy's favorite black actor is Denzel Washington.
My favorite black actor. I say he's one of my favorite actors of all time. I like him.
I don't know if I could put him there either, man.
I like him very, very much.
Okay.
I think he's great. And first of all, I'm not a boomer. And secondly, I didn't say the boomer thing. That's one of my favorite black actors.
Go ask. I don't know who. Somebody, an older person, who their favorite black actor is, but they say Denzel.
I won't
it's
say
not
that.
going to be Sidney Poitier.
Say
it's going to be.
I won't even
Denzel
say who's
Washington.
your favorite black actor.
Yeah.
I won't. My favorite black actor is probably John Amos from Good Times.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
Now that's a guy. Okay, that's right. The other thing I had here today was, and I'll just ask you, we'll do it next time.
Sure.
On the Square and the Round podcast. Got a little edgy today, by the way.
Yeah.
Getting on the edge.
Yeah.
Is Hollywood completely out of ideas? That was I read that today. Was that? But I don't think so because, well, maybe I do think so. The last time I went to see a movie in the theater, I saw Maverick last year.
Yeah.
I saw Top Gun Maverick, and I know as I looked around at the posters for the movies coming out, it was all these movies that were 30 years. Halloween was coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Maverick was a sequel of a movie that was 35 years old, and all the stuff. It was all franchise stuff.
Yeah.
It's like so that's one reason I appreciate Oppenheimer and Barbie. There's two good new ideas.
I do too, and I don't think they're out of ideas. I just don't think there's enough backing behind original ideas. I really think there's only 4 or 5 filmmakers working in Hollywood today that have the ability to do whatever they want. Okay. Christopher Nolan, the guy who made Oppenheimer, is one of them. Tarantino's another one of them.
They don't get to do what they want.
No, they can't.
I mean, they do.
Yeah,
but
they could totally do what they want.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's a lost thing. I think they need to take chances on young filmmakers because
I agree.
Hollywood's lacking right now, man. It's like there's no good original stuff coming out.
So you do agree that there's no good, but there are ideas, but they don't get made.
Yes, exactly.
That's why when something breaks through and is a real that's a new spin on it. What's that movie? I didn't love it, but everybody else did. That got the Academy Award a few years ago. It was like, God, it was so weird. It was like, may have been Korean or something.
Was it Parasite?
Yes.
Yes.
You loved it.
Loved it.
Most people did. I thought it was okay. I liked it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was overrated. I just didn't love. But what an original idea.
Yeah, but
let's give it that. You'll never see anything like that.
And he's one of them. Bong Joon-ho. He's another one.
Now that's a movie that is an original idea for sure.
Yes.
But I liked. What I wanted to win? Maybe I don't remember what won, but the World War II or World War
1917
World War I movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that movie. I thought that was great.
Great movie.
Did you like it?
I did. I loved it.
I liked the way they shot it, where it looked like one shot.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Did you like Birdman?
Loved it.
I did too.
I was talking about Birdman with somebody yesterday, man.
I did too.
Such a great movie.
But most people don't like it.
As far as like Oscar Best Picture winners in the last 10 years, I think it's got the most rewatchability out of any of them. I watch it 2 or 3 times a year.
It's great, but many people don't like it. I love the way it was shot. Too.
It's genius,
Birdman.
man.
All right, watch Birdman. I'll say that to this audience. Watch Birdman.
Yes.
Edgy today. I don't like how you painted me in a corner on black actors.
I'm sorry. And ask people. That's what I've realized over the past.
Who's your favorite black actor? They're all going to say Denzel. Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
All right, that's probably fair. That's probably true. All right, maybe not as heavy on. What do you think? Too heavy on movies today?
Maybe too heavy on movies.
Well, that's what we like. We like movies. Movies. You know what? People can hit stop if they want to hit stop.
Exactly.
Right? All right,
they can do what they want.
You got the video done today?
Video's done, hopefully.
I'm gonna do it sweaty every week.
Yeah, there you go. You came with a good energy today, and I like that.
It's because I didn't shower.
I like
showers take the energy out of it.
Absolutely.
Have a great week. We're back next week. The Square and the Round podcast. Chris Kelly and BB Shea. Take care.